In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your rear brake hose on this Toyota Corolla. This is the one that goes from the line to the other line that connects it to the wheel. It's located right behind the rear wheel, so let's get started. Use a 21mm socket and take off all 5 of your lug nuts so we can take the wheel off. With the wheel off, here's the hose that we're after, so we have to break it free from both ends of the line. Here's a little trick that I want to share with you that'll help us lose a lot less brake fluid and give us more time to work. Open up this bleeder screw. As you can see, fluid comes out. Now inside the vehicle, I use a pry bar, put it up against the brake pedal and up against the seat. Looks like we'll have to push the seat back. Push the brake pedal down slowly. If you go too fast, it'll shoot brake fluid out everywhere. So go slow, hold it there, and then bring the seat forward. This is what you're aiming for. Push the brake pedal down with the seat and hold it there. As you can see, the fluid stopped coming out. So at this point, I'm not going to bother closing this because it's going to have to be opened afterwards to bleed anyway, so we can move on to the hose replacement procedure. Let's break the line free. I already sprayed it with rust penetrant because a lot of times these will rust and it'll be very difficult to take this off. What you're aiming for is to break this fitting free without the line spinning. Looks like I'm actually bending this bracket a little bit, so I'm going to grab it with some pliers. That way I can hold it steady so I can put some more force into this fitting. I don't want to destroy the bracket. Okay, put some locking pliers on it. Oh, okay, there we go. So I broke it free. However, it looks like my line is spinning with the fitting, which is not what we want. We want to break the fitting free from the line itself. But at least it's broken free off of the hose. I'm working it back and forth, and it looks like I'm able to spin the fitting off of the line just slowly. I don't want to twist the line. If I twist it too much, it'll break, and I'm looking at making a new one. I'm just going to grab an open-ended wrench now so I can use this a little easier. And perfect, it looks like the fitting broke free off the line, which is great news. Again, a lot of times they don't. They seize up like that. And in that case, if you really can't get it loose, well, you could cut the brake hose and then spin it off, or you're going to have to make a new line. But in my case, with enough back and forth and rust penetrant, I was able to save it. So I'm just going to back this off all the way until the line comes off. That's off right there. Pull this aside, and I'm going to actually kind of move it out of the way. Try and bend it out of the way like this. That way no debris gets inside of the line as we work here, because next we have to take off this clip which holds the brake hose onto this bracket. To do that, you can use pliers or a pry bar, screwdriver, whatever you have, but you just need to get in here and twist it, break it free, and slide it right off. There we go. Same deal over here. I'm going to try and break it free first, and in this case, if I can't break the line free off of the hose, because the hose is free on the other side, I can just spin the hose off of the line, but I still have to break the threads free. So that's what I have to work on right now. Looks like I'm bending this bracket also. So I'm going to grab this one too with some locking pliers so I can put a little more force into it without breaking it. Remove the line on this side as well. Work it back and forth if it gets a little tough. That usually works the rust penetrant and even the brake fluid into the threads. Let's pull this locking clip out now that this fitting is free. Break this free, and now I can spin the hose and just hold the line with a wrench if it spins. Okay, after enough wailing with 2 pliers, I finally got it off of here. Threads are still good, the flare is perfect, so we are ready to clean this up a little bit because now it's contaminated with rust penetrant and potentially other debris, sand, whatever else is in the way. Once it's clean, we can put the new hose on. Another thing to look out for is that the fitting spins freely on the line, which this one does, and that's going to be very useful for when we go to reinstall so that we don't have to fight the pressure of the line. Now with this fitting cleaned up and ready to go, the new line is not directional. Doesn't matter which end you put on which side. So just start threading it on and it should go on nice and smooth. It's threading on nicely. I'm just going to bottom it out as much as I can like this, just because it's easier. And now we'll center it up. It is slotted right here, so it only fits into this bracket one way, and that is like that. Make sure it goes all the way through. And to lock it in, we have to put this clip back in. So just push the line or the hose in, and then tap this in. This will lock it into place. Now we can use our wrench and finish tightening this with the hose secured, because it's going to be a whole lot easier. There we go. Snug it like that till it's bottomed out, and then give it about another quarter to at most half a turn. You don't want to, yeah, that's tight. You don't want to over tighten this, because if you do, you will not only destroy the flare in there, it'll over crush it, but you will also ruin the threads on here, and you definitely want these to grab nice and tight. And now we just need to do the same thing on this end over here. Put the line through, except this time we can't spin the hose because it's already attached on the other side, but this fitting spins freely, so we can spin the fitting. I got it started by hand. I made sure it's not cross-threading, and now I'm just going to use my wrench, bring it in the rest of the way. This should line up pretty much spot on with the bracket. If it doesn't, you just have to give it a little twist and it will line up. Before I fully tighten this, I want to re-secure the hose, and to do that, I'm just going to twist it just like that. Clip it in with this retainer. Now we can take our wrench, finish tightening the line. That's snug right there. I'm going to give it a little extra, and that's exactly where I want to stop. At this point, with my collection bucket underneath, I'm going to clean off any spillage that happened on both ends. Now, close up the bleeder so that when we release the pry bar off the brake pedal, air does not get drawn in through the bleeder screw. Slowly release this pry bar. And now, with the pry bar released, let's open up this bleeder screw again. We'll do a gravity bleed, which basically means leaving this bleeder screw open so that gravity can naturally pull the fluid down into the wheel cylinder and push the air out. And once that's done, we'll perform a full manual brake bleed. Now with a nice steady trickle of fluid, close it off, and we'll move on to the manual brake bleed. To begin your manual brake bleed, make sure that your brake master cylinder is topped off with clean fluid. Then you're going to want to have a second person in the car pumping up the brake pedal as you open and close the bleeder screw. So after a few pumps, have them hold pressure on the brake pedal and open up the bleeder screw. At this point, air and fluid will come out. Once the pedal has reached the floor, close off the bleeder screw and have them pump up the brakes again. After 2 to 3 pumps, have them hold pressure on the brake pedal once again and open up the bleeder screw. Repeat this procedure until no more air comes out of the bleeder screw and you have only clean fluid. Once you get to that point, close off the bleeder screw and top off the master cylinder with clean fluid to make sure it's full. Put on all 5 of your lug nuts, bottom them out, and torque them to 76 foot-pounds. Double check them. Okay.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.